Welcome to Late Night Chat with JT and Nico, episode 10. Oh my God.
Go
I did it right too, eh?
Oh yeah, that's good.
No, I was going to say, oh my God, we made it this far. No, I'll say that to the music.
Go ahead.
All right.
That's a banger.
Look, I ain't nothing like you fucking rap niggas. Hustle man, a shooter, that's a fact, nigga. 32 extendos in my Mac, nigga. Spend 1,000 on some t-shirts up they sacks, nigga. I ain't nothing like you fucking rap niggas. Hustle man, a shooter, that's a fact, nigga. 32 extendos in my Mac, nigga. Spend 1,000 on some t-shirts up they sacks, nigga. B12 in the valet, black on black, nigga.
All right, welcome everybody.
Welcome, episode 10. Look at that. How do we make it this far?
I honestly don't know. I don't think anything can stop us now, Jay.
It's my good
10
looks.
episodes in.
It must be my good looks. What do you think?
I don't think that, no.
Ditto, bro.
I don't think it has anything to do with that, but I think it has all to do with me.
Yeah. You know what? You might be right. Once I figure out how to use this friggin' iTunes stuff, then, we'll...
I think our
we'll be
listeners
right
are
on
kind
point.
of sick of hearing you talk about how you're going to one day learn.
One day learn. I think you're just sick of it. Hey, come on, don't lie. Yeah, exactly. See? No, you're starting to sound like Peter, too, man. Did you hear yourself there? You
Well, we
actually
did do a
sounded
show
like him.
together once upon a time.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyways, yeah, welcome, episode 10, Late Night Chat. I am Nico, and this is your other co-host, the other fucking guy here, JT.
Oh, my God. That's my name. How's it going, everybody?
So a couple of podcast updates at the top of the show like we normally do. I guess some of you may have not been expecting the last episodes we released. We listened to you guys. Some of your comments, your feedback that we received back is, quite frankly, we don't want to listen to you guys for 2 hours at once.
Yeah, basically, that's what everybody was saying. You know what?
Which is understandable. I get it. Not everybody has the same
It's hard,
time
right?
to sit there for 2 hours. A lot of people were
guess.
saying they were getting through it, but they had to come back to it constantly, right? Like they couldn't do it in one sitting.
Exactly.
And then you had the people that were just frankly like, I can't listen to you for 2 hours. And
And then you get the people that just don't listen, period. Yeah. And,
Exactly.
Are we going to mention names yet or no? Can we start that off? or
feel
no?
free, bro. You
No,
wanna throw some
I'm
shots?
asking you, man. I'm asking you, dude.
Do I have names?
I'm asking you, man.
Hey,
You
listen,
tell
there's
me.
people that aren't supporters, but why mention them? They're not
yeah.
worth mentioning, in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right?
Anyways,
And that's no April Fool's joke.
Yeah, no, exactly. But yeah, now you can check back every Wednesday. There's going to be dropping a new show for you guys weekly. So it's going to be weekly shows. They're going to range from about an hour and 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, give or take, right?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, this might give us a better chance to actually make longer shows, but not like pushing 2 hours range, right?
yeah,
And,
so it gives you guys a little bit less of a headache and,
Yeah,
a
and
little
then,
bit less, more
and then-
time to listen.
This way, it'll give you a chance to consistently check back weekly, and we even got a day in mind, like I said, Wednesdays. So check back Wednesday mornings.
Hopefully we can get everything always out Wednesday morning.
Yeah,
so
if you're a
that's
night
all
owl like
else.
Jay, most of the time it'll even probably get loaded Tuesday night, like late night before I go to bed. So in the morning, I'll be
It'll already be ready and up there.
yeah, exactly. I'll be promoting that shit. So thanks again to all our listeners and the people that have stuck with us this long. And
Speaking of promoting, let's get into this Teach from the Hood guy, because you know what? I think he's messing up our listens right now, and I think we need to figure that out, and maybe get him on the fucking path to not taking and switching the names around. He's obviously done that, and I know why. It was for a good reason. He's meant well.
Yeah, so like minutes before we actually started recording, unbeknownst to me, Jay explained to me that our guest, who once again, thank you for calling in last
Thanks,
episode.
man.
That was great.
It was fun.
We've gotten some fun feedback from people so far
You
about
made
your
Nico work.
appearance.
You made Nico work on all that editing, guys. That last thing that he edited, he must have taken out 45 minutes of Nelson just ranting. It was great. No, sorry, I gotta give up his name. Cheech in the Hood. Okay, he
okay, we've
just
called him
ranting.
by his
Okay,
name.
and there was times when I couldn't even get a word in. It was great. I mean, it was funny for us because I was looking at Nico and just giving him that mouth talk and all that crap, and he was just going off. But you know what? It was good. And Nico had a great time figuring out how to edit it and how to. It was
quite challenging, bro. Jay was here in the room, so he knows about the before and after product.
And I listened to I could listen to the both before and after product, and you know what? He worked magic. I don't know how he made it work, but yeah, it worked, and I give Nico a lot of credit for that one. Because
and I also will thank Cheech for that, because it did give me a chance to actually go
learn
deep into
more, right?
editing.
You got a little better at it too with the certain techniques, right?
Sure.
Different techniques, right? But I mean, he worked wonders with that, and I was surprised because when I actually listened to it, I remember what we said, the conversation we had with him, and all that stuff. So I totally get it, but the listeners didn't see that part and didn't hear that.
Yeah,
part.
A little behind the scenes there for you.
I mean, oh man, you know what? Great job, man. And
thank you.
And like I said, he took him, and during a stressful week for him as well too. I gave him the hardest. That was probably the hardest editing job he had to do.
Hey, but listen, when we put out those last, because that was part 2, the Cheech from the Hood episode is part 2 of episode 9, and in the new thing, like I said, the new thing that we're going to start doing is cutting the episodes shorter lengths and posting them up weekly for you guys, right? No secret. Majority of the time, this is really just going to be one long episode that we're just going to chop up for you guys and post.
Yeah.
And then at least this way, it gives you a chance to check back every week and get us, in smaller kind of spurts, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the second part was basically almost the whole episode was the interview of Cheech from the Hood, and it was quite interesting. It was a different perspective, a different type of guest that we had.
Literally an hour of it.
Yeah.
And the 45 minutes Nico was able to chop up and get rid of a bunch of it and literally turn it into a great 45-minute, half an hour conversation we had with him on the phone, apparently, like how you finished up with the editing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he turned it literally an hour conversation into a half hour with all the editing he had to do with it.
Yeah.
Because it was just crazy. Right? But he's also...
It's just a little messy. It wasn't like, a lot of people talking over other people. It was his first time. He was a lot of rambling.
We might have had a little bit of a time delay, too, also.
So I wanted to actually make it seem like there was a proper conversation.
Yeah, it's not like he was in the room and he was able to stop talking when he knew it wasn't his turn anymore. But he doesn't usually do that either, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, he'll talk over you, even if you're trying to talk. So, we love him to death, but he's fucked straight up. And you gotta
anyways,
keep your children and kids away. And
anyways, the piece of news though you told me prior to recording is that Nelson was Cheech from the Hood was going out of his way.
Listeners, no.
I gotta call you out a little bit, Cheech from the Hood. I'm sorry, but
it's great that he's doing. He wanted to put. We didn't put a picture of him in the intro thing, and he I don't know if he wanted to just put a picture of him because he's the selfie queen, right? But yeah, so I don't know if that is the case, but he had to change the link on SoundCloud and put it under his account, and now it's going to get the views on there, which is all right. I mean, me and him got similar friends, right?
Yeah.
So it's not really. On one level, it's not such a bad as long as people are listening. Because the next link, he's not going to change, and I'm going to make sure he's not going to change it. It sucks that some people aren't going to be able to listen if they're listening to the last one, but.
My concern is if people listen to it on his page and he's basically rebranded the whole podcast with his picture on it and on his page.
Cheech in the Hood, and he's going to start taking it out. But it still says Late Night Chat with JT and Nico. And Nico and JT, whatever it says.
I have no problem with him promoting it. Thank you for that. And yes, if people are going to listen to it as a result of this, that's great. But whether or not they're going to make their way back to our page and actually know that it's our podcast because you did it this way.
Yeah. So
it's a little...
We should have talked to him and asked him if he wanted a special selfie that he's good at because, like I said, as anybody who knows him that listens to the podcast knows that he likes to take pictures and post them of himself, headshots. And
he posts a lot of pictures, bro. I've noticed. He does post a lot of pictures. Listen, he likes it.
Yeah, he likes taking pictures of himself now, right? I mean, that's one thing we'll never have enough of is headshots of Nelson.
Bunch of FBs.
That's right, man.
Anyways, but most people would have just put out the link and said, "Hey guys, I was on my friend's podcast. Here it is," or reposted it with
like
our
Lewis,
link.
Yeah, like Lewis did.
So
and stuff like
so
that.
now
So we were
I don't
okay.
know if he listen. I don't think this is a purposeful move.
No.
I'm just explaining. Nelson, if you're listening to this,
he
Cheech
knows
from the
that
Hood.
there's people that when he posts it on his Facebook and stuff like that, there's people that are on his Facebook that if he posts it with our link aren't going to know
Right.
that he's there and he was
And
there,
as a
I
result,
get it,
we actually lose out on listens
Yeah.
because
They
it's on
decide
your
to
page.
listen, because it's on his page.
We
instead
do
of-
and we don't. We're
Yeah.
getting the listens,
Regardless.
but it's not
Yeah.
being reflected on our actual page.
You know,
You
and I'm
see what I'm
pretty
saying?
sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would have because Nico would have had all these people adding him on or viewing it from retweets from
Yeah.
his reposts, but not a lot of people.
It's almost like Cheech is promoting himself with this podcast as
You know,
opposed to
he's
promoting.
trying to brand his name now, guys. Everybody, watch out! It's gonna come out as a name, but we trademarked that shit. You know what? It's trademarked on here on the show.
Yeah, so listen, copyright infringement. Well, I guess you could call us out for all the music we played.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't do that, Cheech.
No, that's it, man. Don't. We're good, bro.
We're all liable
good.
here.
You know what? Let's just not do anything about anything, and well, you know what? We'll just
Moving on.
switch it. Yeah, we'll switch it up to back to Nick's.
Bro, I need to move it on sound drop, so
No.
I don't have to say it.
Yeah, you don't have to say it anymore. That'd be awesome. You know what? If you had that last time, you know what? Maybe the show could have gone on. So I was gonna say the show must go on, but you get what I'm saying,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But yeah, no, I was dying because, he's branded himself. He has. That's the
I'm not upset.
And
I mean,
that's
I was a little just puzzled by the.
Well, that's where the Cheech in the Hood part comes from, right? Like he's trying to do everything he can to brand himself. He's
Yeah.
trying to make money, quick shot,
Yeah.
quick, easy, and that's it. He's like, all right, if I could get some, I don't even think he knows.
Maybe
that's what
he's trying to
doing.
protect our identity from other hood people by fucking putting it out under
so-
his name.
Yeah, in case he's locking up certain people, like blocking out
Yeah,
certain
yeah,
people
yeah,
and
yeah.
just putting certain ones on.
I
don't
certainly
know.
don't want to meet other hood people. Like,
Nelson's friends, not so much. I'm not sure. Not the ones that know me, but yeah, the other ones. Well, some of the ones that know me too.
I
really
don't want a
give shit.
stray crackhead to fucking come across the podcast on my stolen cell phone that stole it that night.
Could you imagine that, dude? You come across your old cell phone at Nelson's place. One day we go hang out with him.
The
or
guy's
something,
like, "Yo,
and
I'm a
all of
big
sudden he's
fan, man. I got
Yeah.
your phone."
Yeah, I got your phone, dude. Look, check it out. It's got all these pictures of you. I know you. Where do I know
I know
you
you from the podcast.
We were supposed to meet at McDonald's. Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that, eh? That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, his name will be Chooch from the Hood.
Yeah, it would be something stupid. No, these guys, I don't know. I seen a video the other day. He didn't do a selfie. He did an actual video of himself there with his buddies. I don't know what the fuck they were doing, man. If they're
man.
playing video games or what, man.
Bro, Cheech from
They're
the
all
Hood.
standing in
The
a room.
adventures continue. If anything, this is just gonna fucking elevate him. His appearance, bro. So I'm
People are
sure
gonna
it won't be the
start
last time we hear
talking
from him
about
either.
him, mate.
I don't
So-
think the people that he threw shots at have had a chance to listen as of yet, as of this recording. At
Probably
least.
not.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. One of them should have after the weekend, no?
Right.
Oh,
So,
really?
anyways, again, Cheech, thanks for calling in, and we just had to take you to task a little bit. Unfortunately, there we had to call you out on that one. I don't know, I'm just a little confused as to why you went about promoting it that way, but that's cool.
I didn't even know it would happen like that until Nico started explaining to me what the hell was going on, man. So, guys, you know what? Just remember, you can listen to it anywhere. I mean, to be honest with you, we're cool with that. But just try to lean more towards our side.
Yeah, have you guys listened even to this episode?
Yeah.
Because I know Cheech has been, has promoted the show for quite a while now, and you find it on his SoundCloud page. Come check us out, right?
Yeah,
check out our
exactly.
pages. We're just so you know. And
Don't worry about adding if you have to add as
Yeah.
a follower or whatever. That's not a big deal.
listen, I don't care
Not
how you
following.
listen. That's the end of the day. As
Yeah, at the
long
end
as
of the
people
day,
are
as long as
listening, I'm
people are
happy.
listening, and like having a good laugh at our stupidity sometimes and our stupid chit chats and stuff like
Exactly.
that, then you know what? Then it's great, man, because we're having fun with it. And if you're having fun listening, then you don't have to listen to it all at once. Like you go back and stuff like that, but it's always there, man. It'll be there. So just thanks for listening, and thanks for doing the way you're doing, Nelson. And I'm not using your Cheech from the Hood until you call in, man.
Also, this by the time this episode is posted, we're going to have our whole library up on the SoundCloud as well.
Yeah, we should have that all go up there and going. And yeah, we're trying to figure out the SoundCloud and the whole.
I think we're going to move ahead and sign up for SoundCloud. By the time this drops, we'll have our whole library on SoundCloud. But in the meantime, when we have our stuff posted on SoundCloud, we're going to still start looking for other alternatives and
try to figure out stuff. And
so
still trying to get feedback on that, too, from people. But
yeah,
I've been getting a lot of good feedback from, the news.
But I think SoundCloud has been good for us so far for what we've been doing, so I think we're going to stick around here for now at this point.
Exactly. It's free. It's free for everybody, man. And if you say you can't use it, then you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Because if I can figure it out on my phone, on my computer, and not my computer, but on a computer, then I'm pretty sure everybody can.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about all the old people that I know. Nobody in particular, Dad.
What's that, Jay?
Dad. No, not
Anyways.
you. Not you, Dad. No.
I am the father of this podcast.
Hey, he's out there watching Pet Sematary right now.
Yo, check your stats, man.
You know that guy went to go watch the Pet
tonight,
Sematary
really?
without me. Yeah, tonight.
Oh, fuck.
He went with Justice, and well, it's kind of cool because I can't believe an 11-year-old, 12-year-old wants to listen, go watch Pet Sematary.
Have they seen the original though?
Asked. No, he hasn't. He hasn't seen. I don't think he has seen the original, but he's reading the book right now.
Okay.
Right, so he wants to go see it. Right,
Yep.
He's actually asked to go see it, which I thought was kind of weird because that was the only movie when I was a kid, Neeks, that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah,
that was the only one.
Why? Because the little kid, the little kid's kind of freaky.
Yeah, when he got hit by the transport truck, right? I wonder if they're going to remake that part because if they do, that part's going to be graphic. That's the only part that. Actually, I remember being scared. I watched a lot of horror movies growing up.
Did you see It?
It wasn't Marvel movies and DC movies when I was growing up with my dad.
Did you watch the new It?
Yeah, I actually like the graphics better, but the storyline has always been stupid. The book is better.
Yeah.
Right? But the storyline has always been stupid.
I liked the new one, actually. I thought it was pretty well done. It was pretty...
Yeah, it is. But, I mean, it's still a stupid story. Going back to Pet Sematary, man, I was scared shitless as a kid. That was the only movie that scared the hell out of me. Like I said, no Marvel, none of those movies back then, right? So my old man used to make us watch horror movies the whole time, right? So I was like, what the fuck? I didn't give a shit. Back then, they didn't scare me. They went to go watch it tonight. He better not spoil it for me because I'm dying to see it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me and Jay were discussing possibly having a mandate to go watch it ourselves.
So we can discuss it on the show here.
That'd be fun.
It's cool, man, because he's unfortunately not able to go see it, so... Yeah, but he'd have to go by himself, and none of my friends want to go because they're pussies. I'm sorry, guys.
You losers.
Yeah, if you guys are listening, man, straight up right now, man, I know you guys always, I don't want to watch movies because I don't like to jump and blah, 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 blah. Don't give me that because it's just because you're scared.
Yeah,
and you guys all know who
world.
you're talking about. And if I'm talking to you right now that don't know that it's you, don't make me have to say your name. Just remember, unless you ask me one day to go watch a horror movie with you, then you'll know who you are.
So, if you get into a little bit of what's been going on with us lately, I went to Chicago, I think, since the last time we recorded.
I think so. That was a big one that you did. I think because that's when I said you had your busy week.
Yeah.
And you had to start.
Yeah.
You had to start.
Sometimes I forget by the time that they get released, especially now because they got released in portions.
Yeah, they're getting released in. We recorded
what timeline
2.5 hours
we were on.
Yeah.
Because I think we recorded that before I went to Chicago.
Yeah, just before.
One, right?
Yeah, and you had to do it on one of the weeks that you got back quick.
Yeah.
Like the first part of the remember that you said it. The first part you didn't really edit anything.
No.
Part one.
Yeah, no.
With it was just being me and you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but after that, that second part, I don't know how you did it, dude. I mean, by the grace of God, you figured how to edit out.
Listen, you told me I had to start step it up over here.
Well,
you said I was slacking the last time.
It wasn't about editing slacking or whatever. It wasn't about anything. Nobody was slacking. I slacked too, dude. There's times that I've been slacking, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on during the day, during our weekly lives, man.
Sure.
That affects both of us.
Oh,
right?
no worries. Things happen, right?
And I know, like
but
I said,
I worked to get it out, and it came out, and we put it out, and like I said, we chopped it up, and it was good to go.
But I was surprised. That's what I want to get into.
Yeah.
Let me say, I was surprised
Go ahead.
because I was remembering what you wanted to talk about, but I was surprised that you ended up in the boonies, man, on the weekend. You actually went for a trip. I'm wondering, is your other buddy going to be mad that you went all the way? Well, actually, you went to Oshawa first, so you had actually gone there before you went all the way up to Bradford. So I'm actually.
Peter, my best friend Peter, who is a guest on the episode.
And then he says he's messaging me from Florida. He said he was in Florida. I'm like, again? I thought they were just there.
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah, he was. He's there again.
Like, nice.
No, your boy, he fucking balls out, apparently.
But he doesn't like the heat, man.
Florida every other day.
He doesn't like the heat, dude.
Yeah.
I thought he wasn't a big heat person.
Well, I don't know. He's there again.
Or the sun.
They do it for the kids, right?
Yeah,
for the children.
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good. Don't worry about that. Like I have made an effort to go out. Jay's basically calling me to task because
I'm trying to see if I can get him to
as time goes
mess up on his words
with your good friends.
Buddies.
It's harder and harder to get together. I guess I was slacking in that regard too. I was also not making an effort to come see people as much. But it just takes a lot of time and planning, and fucking I can't be doing it all the time.
The problem is, you said you had got off late from work that day, like 5 o'clock or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so by the time, because the party would have been finished by 6.
Anyways, yeah, so I spent last weekend in the boonies, Bradford.
Yeah. How did that go?
So the city was nice. It was sweater weather.
When you got up
when I left Toronto.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was nice when I left Toronto. I was walking around with a sweater. It was not that hot.
It was great.
Finally, we're getting a break. Go up to fucking Bradford. Fucking, we get down there an hour and a half later, travel from a train to a bus to an Uber to fucking a Mexican restaurant, because of course we had to be at a Mexican restaurant to see Jesse.
Oh, he's calling her out. No, he's not even only calling the one out, he's calling the second one out, eh? No, I think so, man. Now we're in trouble.
So, yeah, long story short, I ate some tacos. We drank some beers.
What kind? Let me guess. Corona?
Yes. Yes. I had some laughs. It was a good time.
FBs.
By the way, Jay's also got control over the soundboard now. I must tell everybody.
So if you start seeing these things pop up everywhere, it's my fault. Okay, guys?
It's great, though.
But it's funny.
It's
okay, go on. I'm learning it.
So, yeah, a bunch of tacos, a bunch of beers.
Yeah.
Good times, good laughs. Yeah. It was nice to see him. It was good to go out there.
Usually they have a rap bar up there?
So, anyways, halfway through the meal.
Well, I was waiting.
Plus, they're on Mexican time, bro. No, in this Mexican restaurant, they're Mexican time. So they're like.
I was hoping to see you guys because I hadn't seen my brother. I know he invited me to go with you guys, but I figured, you know what, I'll let you guys have you time. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because last time I was there when it was Christine's birthday, so
yeah.
I said, you know what, let them do their thing, and I'll hang around with my mom up there. And I hung around after I left my buddies, and we got back to that, and that's when it started snowing like crazy, man.
How considerate of you.
No, but I was going to hang around, you know what I mean? Just to see what was up, just to shoot the shit. I wanted to kind of stir stuff up a little bit, you know what I mean, with the whole podcast and everything,
sure.
Right? Get everything going between the two of them,
yeah,
and then leave, right? Because Nico would have been staying over there. So I just wanted to have a little bit of fun with it, but they never ended up coming back. And I said, you know what, let them do the thing, and I bounced. And
through a fucking snowstorm, yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have a picture of that one posted because this snow was unbelievable. I couldn't see nothing on the. I was making my own tracks, man. It was great. On all these idiots that have.
You were recording a track when you were driving?
No, I said I was making my own tracks, dude, with my tires. Okay, smartass. But
sorry, I thought you were recording a track like in the booth, like in the car.
No, but yeah, go. Before I get to on my way home back, you go. Tell me about the rest of your bar.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, halfway through the meal,
bars up
it's on Mexican time, by the way. So the guy would come and take
Mexicans
your order.
Make sense up there.
Yeah, okay. Take your fucking order.
There's pork chops up there. Sorry, Portuguese.
Yeah,
sorry, politically correct.
Hey, listen, I'm half fucking.
Yeah, so it's okay. We're allowed to say pork chop, all right? No, you know what?
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, caker.
So they would take your order. and fucking disappear for like 20 minutes. You'd be looking for the bartender.
Really? Eh?
Yeah, you're like, hey, listen,
Where's
where's
this
my
at the
beer?
restaurant?
Where's
At
the
Mexican
food?
place?
What's that?
The Mexican place?
Yeah, it's called Ay Caramba.
Yeah, but the way my brother spelled it was
Hay. I guess that's how if you write it out, that's how it's written.
Yeah.
Anyways, by the time the night ended there at that place, though, we had the band was talking to us. There was a live band. We were talking to the owner. We all had some shots. We all had some drinks. It was a good time. Good time.
You know the way it was. You know the way it is when you go out there with him.
Yeah, but halfway through the fucking night, snowstorm fucking started.
That was
we look
great.
out the window, it's fucking like snowing, bro. Like it was like crazy too.
Yeah.
Like not like just like a couple of centimeters or something. Like they got a good amount of snow.
Well, it was wet and heavy snow.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun. It wasn't anything fun. Within 10 minutes, I mean, when I was sitting up there with my mother, I was watching the hockey game, and yeah, man, it was crazy. It was. Every time I'd go out for a smoke, it was just more and more snow on the car, and then trying to get it off, it was just wet. It was like rain and heavy snowflakes mixed in.
Yeah.
And it was great if you had proper tires, right?
Yeah.
But
Well, not only that, we had our bags still with us because they wanted us to meet us at the restaurant. So I didn't actually have a chance to drop our bags off at your place where I was staying the night.
Where the dumbass didn't just say, hey, you know what, Jake, can you do me a favor and say, can you stop? If you're not going to come by, could you come by the restaurant and pick up our bags and bring them to the house? Because you know what? They were 5 minutes from where I was.
Yeah, I guess I could have done that.
I sat in my car smoking a joint for longer than that, okay? And now they could have literally, Nico not thinking, I don't know why. He knows I do everything for people, man, and that's the least that I do for it. That's nothing. I mean, I give an arm for this guy, he's a good guy.
But listen.
I understand where he's coming from.
Our plan was to come back to the house after the restaurant.
Yeah, obviously, I get that.
That did not exactly go that way. Next thing
that's
you know,
what happens when you
I was at a black club, which is fine. I don't have a problem with black people.
Yeah, I know. That's the music we listen to.
Yes, but it was not like rap and R&B type music. It was like, which I'm more into. It was like,
Motown?
like the soca and the fucking like the dance music,
dance hall stuff,
dance
like that.
hall shit. Yeah, which
Wow,
I'm not into.
I gotta tell my buddy Ronnie about that one.
Yeah, it's called Big Mama's House. Shout out to them. That apparently once
we should have went up there, man. That sounds like a party for.
It's like a restaurant.
Trinidadian restaurant or like Trinidadian or
maybe, I don't know. It was
Caribbean and some sort
it
of
must
Caribbean,
be
right?
because of the type of music and the type of people that were working there. Yeah. But apparently it's a restaurant that once a month they do like an actual dance night thing, right? So
you happened to pick that night.
yeah. So
Okay.
we fucking we went there after the restaurant with some other people, some other Jesse's friends there, and it was a good time. And they bought me a lot of drinks. It was very nice of them. Thank you to those guys. I don't want to shout you out here because you may not want your name mentioned.
Oh,
but thank you.
the guys that showed up with you.
Yeah, so just all due respect
Just
to them.
friends.
So, but thank you very much. That was very nice of you guys. And we had a good time. I attempted to dance to the music, but I couldn't really get into it because I'm not into a lot of those tunes. I only know a few of them, right? So. But it was like it's grinding music, like you know what I mean. Like you gotta grab your girl or whatever.
Well, you had your girl with you,
right?
You had your girl with you. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, but only so much of that I can do in one
Without
night.
taking her into the washroom, eh?
I'm not into.
Yeah, there you go. I paused you right there in your tracks, there, buddy. That's what
I don't know what
was
you're
waiting
talking
for.
about.
Yeah, exactly. Don't that'll be edited out.
Check your stats.
And I did check my stat on that one, dude. But
That's a banger.
yeah, exactly. That's what he said, or she said, or whatever you want to say.
Fuck off.
Okay, so yeah, go on. And then it was just a great night, right? Like you guys ended up being a good night, or
It
what?
was a good night. It was a good time.
Where were you guys leaving your bags the whole time? That's what I like.
So when we got to the club,
Yeah.
we had to put like a bunch of coats over it, fucking in the corner style. Like we just grabbed a chair that was up by the bar, threw our bags on the chair, threw our jackets over that, and just kind of chilled around the bag area, right? Just because I had like stuff in there, you know what I mean? Like who the hell
Doing
knows,
your electronic
right?
stuff, yeah. Maybe if anything.
But yeah, it was good nights though. We had a good time. It was interesting to say the least.
I mean, I was at a 1-year-old's birthday party with 60 people, which was crazy.
Wow, that's a lot of people for a 1-year-old.
Well, you know what? A lot.
What's the background?
Portuguese.
Okay.
So, but
yeah, a lot of family then. Probably.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was a lot of family. It's
Yeah.
like I said, it was mostly her family, and I've known them both since grade
That's a
9.
lot for a 1-year-old birthday party.
I've known them both since grade 9. Yeah, and they just had a
Shit.
kid last year, which was crazy because I
Right.
mean they're both 38 years old, right?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they had their first kid together. I mean, they've been together since high school.
Yeah.
Just about maybe just a little after high school.
Well, great for them though. That's good. I mean, that's you know
10
that's.
years or something like that. They've been together, maybe more, 15.
Hey, listen, for people that are always pressuring me, that's nice to hear, and they're happy. Like so.
They're not married.
Okay,
They're
good.
not married. They just have a house together. They have a dog together. Now they have a kid together. They're basically married, dude. Without
Bro,
the
that's
paperwork.
something I gotta look up to right there. That's
She
like
doesn't care.
that's
I
my
know.
life
He's my idol.
almost.
He's my idol, dude. He's my idol, man. He's never had to spend a dime on getting married,
Yeah.
right? I mean, he spent a dime on other people's weddings because we all go to weddings, right?
The important question though,
Uh.
is he happy?
Of course he is. Oh yeah, dude.
Perfect.
We'll see what
That's all that
happens.
matters, bro.
We'll see what happens when he starts chasing his little daughter around, right? But yeah, once that starts happening,
That's
then his
perfect,
40s
man.
is
Glad-
going to start
glad to
kicking
hear
in.
it.
His
Glad to hear it.
yeah, by that time it'll be 40, and
So I know
we'll see.
that you talking like this right here, you and me, is always a good time, good stress reliever for you though. But anybody else that you've been talking to recently? Anything
yeah.
you want to get into? Things that's been going
Well,
on with you?
Like I said, I went to that friggin' doctor today, right? That was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
He got some shit out of me that I didn't think was gonna come out, but it kind of brought me into a weird spot in my head today. And you know what? I'm just going with it, right? And see what the fuck happens. And I just like I said, I'm on for the epilepsy and stuff. I'm on a lot of medication, dude.
Yeah.
It messes with my head, that, and I smoke a lot of pot. You know that. Everybody
Right.
knows that, frig.
Well, I don't know how much you want to get into it. That's why I just kind of brought it up slightly here, just to mention it, because I know that it's been an ongoing topic throughout even some of our earlier
us.
shows.
Yeah,
We've
with
talked
the
about mental health
Yep.
and this kind of thing, right? So
Oh,
I just
yeah,
wanted
trust
to
me,
kind of, bring a little bit of attention
I'm
to it
one
and
of
see
these
how you
first
do
people. I'm one of these first people. I actually had a thing where I actually had I guess it's a hardcore anxiety, man. I thought I was having a heart attack, man. It was somebody was sitting on my chest, man. It was
it. A lot of
a weird
people
feeling,
suffer
man.
from anxiety, though.
Yeah, but it was a weird feeling, man.
Yeah.
I've never felt like I get a lot of. I know my body, man, pretty
Sure.
well.
While you were talking to the guy, though, or
No. This was 2 days
okay.
before, not
Yeah,
even
yeah.
the day before, man. And I got to remember, I ate a lot of crap, man. I ate a lot of fucking fast food.
right?
Basically, is all I eat, and once
Yeah,
a day. And I
the
smoke.
size of a toothpick, though.
And I smoke. I don't know what it is. And I smoke a lot of cigarettes. That's probably what it is too, man.
It burns off the fat for sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But stress too, right? If you're just stressing out a bit,
Yeah.
if you're stressing out too much, you work a lot. Like I do. I don't just sit down at work either, right? So I'm always unloading.
No, I
right?
know.
So I'm doing shit like that. So it keeps me physically, fit. In that way, I think too. In that sense, right?
Well, I mean, at least if you
For
feel
somebody
you
that
got
used to be
something out of it,
over 300 pounds, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be this skinny, I still think I'm fat, bro.
skinny fat.
It's weird, man. I can relate to people with I think sort of eating disorders or something like that, or along the lines of not wanting to, put on the weight again. Because once you've been like that, you feel like that's how you're going to be, right? Your whole life, and if when it gets down to it, and you end up, losing it, you don't want to put it back, and you're trying your hardest not to. But like I said, a lot of it had to do with an operation I had to. Back in the day, and I just totally forgot what it feels like to be hungry anymore. I don't get that. Your stomach, people out there, you guys, the listeners, your stomach gets that feeling where you're hungry and you're hungry. I don't get that feeling anymore. I fought it off for at least a year once because I couldn't eat solid foods because of an operation on my stomach there. So, you know what? I fought it off. My brain's like totally changed not to feel that feeling.
But yes, I'm glad you went and spoke to somebody that's good, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad to hear. Hopefully, you stick with it. Lots of people do it, man. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
Well, I'm not. Right? I've been plenty of times growing up, dude.
Yeah.
Like I've dealt with it all my life, man.
Yeah.
With something along those lines, one or the other, right? Since I was a kid, man. So it's like, you either deal with it or you don't, right?
Yeah.
Right now, it's kind of getting to the point where. He tells you, set goals, right? And what the fuck is a goal? I never set a goal in my life.
You should tell him to listen to the cast.
I said, well, you know what? I told him, I said, I just got to get control of my life, man. And he's telling me that's a goal.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how that's a goal. He goes, no, you're
this guy sounds like a smart guy.
You believe,
he's telling you things I've said.
You believe all your life that you know, you have to have control of your life, right? So you don't think
No
of
one
it
has
as a goal.
control.
But you don't think of it as a goal, right?
Right.
But if you actually sit
You need
there
things
and
to
think about
work
it,
towards, though. That's you need like to
that's
be
another
grounded
thing too.
in your
is
life.
like,
You
it's
know what I
like,
mean?
I don't really have as much as everybody else to look
Sure.
forward to when I go home.
Okay.
I'm me. You know what I mean? It's just me. So there's times that you know, I feel a lot more useful now that I'm out there and I'm where I'm living right now and I'm helping
The small
out.
things, though, you need a reason to get out of bed in the morning. You need to look forward to things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, work is one thing, sure, but you need goals. You need stability.
Yeah.
Things you got to work towards. That's where I think he's coming from. With that, right?
That's where I said too, because
Yeah.
he's talking about getting a personal trainer and doing this,
Right.
and it's expensive. I mean, I could probably afford it if I cut back on coffee and shit like that.
Right.
That they'd probably want me to do anyways if I
One day
I
at
got
a time,
something
though.
like
I mean,
that.
not everything's going to happen overnight either,
You know,
right?
and I keep saying one day at a time, bro. But one day at a time passes by pretty fucking quick when
Yeah.
you got nobody to
That's-
slow it down, right?
sure.
Like, and
What's that saying that they say? How's that saying go? A really good one about you said that you were going to make plans and God laughs. You ever heard that saying? It goes something like that. Like like it's basically saying like everybody has plans for their life and things that they want to do.
Yeah.
But then the saying it goes like that, like, and then God laughed, meaning like, yeah, like fucking you what? You think you're the only one that thinks they have their whole life
well, that's
mapped
what I
out?
said about it. I don't
Things
really have it
happen.
that bad. And don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not trying to say that my life is the worst life out there. I mean, people have it way worse than me, and I understand that. But you know, everybody has their own problems. You know, some people can't spell, you know, and I can't cook. You know, certain things like that, right? Like you know, it's not as easy for me to pick up as maybe somebody else. I know there's so many things out there to learn, but you know, when your focus isn't the greatest, then you got to try to focus and you get distracted very easy. It's hard. So I'm trying to channel that and trying to figure that out, man. That's not
Right.
something that's easy for me. Is focusing.
No, for sure.
Like this between me and you is good because I focus a lot. We do what we do. You know, a lot of the time, guys, I just wing this shit. I do the best I can. You know, I'm not great at writing notes. I've never been great at writing notes. I am more of a talker, as you can see. Sometimes I can just fucking ramble on and ramble on and ramble on, and people get sick of it, right? Nico's the only one I found that actually can put up with me talking, but I think vice versa in that way.
All right.
As I think he's the same way with some people.
I can ramble, yeah. People
and
don't.
people don't want to listen to him more as just as much. So we have something in common. So I think that's why, in a sense, that this show is good for the both of us mentally. Gets a little bit of stress off. I mean, it's stressful once we get started up all the time. Every
Yeah, sure,
freaking
sure,
time.
sure.
10 episodes in.
Yeah.
And it still gets, you know, it's stressful.
Yeah.
But we're, like I said, it's
We're a lot more
learning
laid
curve.
back now, though, I find.
Yeah,
Like,
and we're kind of doing more what
Sure.
we want to do, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
It should
men
be-
plan, God laughs. That's the saying. I just looked it up, checked my stats on that one. So that's, yeah. So
You
it just
told me
basically
one today,
means like
too. And I
everyone's
couldn't
got an
remember.
idea of what they want from their lives, but
Yeah.
nothing ever goes the way that everybody always wants it to, right? So that's what I mean.
Obviously.
Plan all you want, but shit's gonna happen that you can't predict. And
Yeah.
then you just gotta fucking. That's why the God laughs part. That's what it means. It means
Yeah.
like, yeah, you go ahead and plan, but you're
But-
not. You know, I got something else in store for
Exactly.
you. And that's not even like a religious thing. It was just a saying I heard long ago that I always really appreciated because it's true.
Yeah.
It kind of puts things into perspective. Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody is in the same boat when it
Yeah.
comes to that.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that they have the perfect fucking plan for their life.
And you know
have
what?
to-
That's
like-
why as soon as I got off the social media and the Facebook and that Instagram, if it wasn't for posting the podcast, I wouldn't be on there.
Yeah.
I mean, I told you about that, and
Sure.
I said I stopped doing it. Once I got off there, you know what, guys? It's take a little break once in a while. You know, I'm not saying from streaming. I'm not saying from that. You know, like this kind of stuff. I'm saying from actual social media where you're friends and you're listening. You're you know, following those news
Unplug.
feeds religiously.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know what? It's right what they say, man. That'll drive you nuts. I don't care who you are. You can be 30 years, you can be 3 years old, man, not 3 years old, but you get what I'm saying with this. You can be 10 years old and start that.
Yeah.
Because I see it in my little brother. He's on it a lot, which is kind of, I mean, the school thing too. He does a lot of his theses and
the
stuff
way
on
of the
there.
world now, though,
But-
man. They start young with this shit.
That's what I
Like,
mean,
it
right?
is.
But you got to know how to separate yourself. You got to
Yeah.
give yourself some time off of it because that's not the real world. people our generation just post things just for the fuck of it, man, just to kind of show off their life.
Yeah.
And you don't see the other part. Remember, they're showing you a split. They're showing you a still image or maybe a 30-second video. They're not showing you what happens behind the scenes either. And I'm not saying that everybody's life is, shitty behind the scenes, but everybody knows they go through their issues too.
I agree,
right?
because they are basically cultivating a bunch of shit and putting it out there that they want.
Makes us believe that we should all be living
exactly.
like that. But it's not.
They're able to piece together the things and the moments that they want you to see and appreciate in their lives. But day to day, they're not showing you the fucking shit that they're dealing with. They're not openly discussing the problems that everyone shares, right?
And that's
what I mean.
The sad
So,
part is that everybody needs to start talking to each other about stuff and trying to help each other out.
Right.
Because you know what, it's always a good thing if you can help somebody else out. You know, I mean, I've always gotten in shit for always giving too much of a shit about everybody else and not enough about myself. But that's me, man. That's who I am, dude. And
something else that I've been trying to do in my
day
day to day, when I actually remember, is asking people actually how they're doing. Like, I know how...
I ask people that so routinely, dude, but
most people just say it as, like, a common phrase, and myself included. Yeah. Just like, hey, how's it going? How you doing? Yeah. But sometimes, I take the moment, if I haven't caught up with somebody for a long time, I'll be like, hey, how are you doing? Like, honestly, like, how is everything? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, I think it goes a long way, bro. Some people really appreciate that, because sometimes people are sitting there waiting for someone to open up to about something, right? Well, but whether or not you want to let them in, that's up to you. Because that can open up a whole other can of worms. And to be honest, ain't nobody got time for that. Some of us are like, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, bro, I don't really, like, you know what I mean? Except for close friends.
I understand.
I ain't got time for fucking every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
My problem is I try to listen to every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
That's you. That's the problem.
That's my issue.
Yes, I know.
That's the issue, that I'm having. And
you need to kind of...
I need to take it back a step and worry about myself, and it's hard, man. Yeah. It's not me. It's not the type of person I am, right? I mean, I've taken there's certain people that come into work every day, like customers, let's say, and they specifically look for me. Like I had a guy today, right, and he wanted to show me his new bike that he bought, right, just because he rides his bike all the time. If anybody...
Yeah, so he went out of his way to kind of show you
call them ball shorts because he wears these fucking shorts in the summer that literally show his fucking balls. I'm not even joking, dude. You might see him around the city driving. You might see him riding his bike, around the city. He's just one of those guys that's everywhere.
Is he on
a
name basis with you? Like, he knows
you?
Yeah,
first name basis. Okay. And he's a retiree from the post office, so He's young too, man. Considering he's under 60, he's in his late 50s,
and he's out here flashing his balls on his bike with you.
Yeah, dude. But you wouldn't think he was in his 50s. He's just a little crazy because when they say you go postal, you are kind of postal. It's true, bro. It messes with you, right? But no, great guy. Like but if I can talk to him, once a day, and that take that 10 minutes out of my day, because he's a guy that comes in all the time every morning for his couple beers. For his couple beers, and that's it, right? Yeah. And then rides his bike the rest of the day. I don't know where else he stops, if he does. But all I know is that he comes in specifically in that morning to talk to me, and today he wanted to show me that he had just got a new bike, right? Because he does a lot of riding. I mean, he bought a bike 2 years ago that was like $2,500, and he just bought another one. And they're like, I go, dude, you're spending a lot of money on bikes. Carbon fiber bikes, and he just had this thing. And I said, if I give somebody 5 or 10 minutes of my day, right, and it saves them from jumping off a bridge, right, then you know what? I've helped somebody. In my way, in my eyes, I feel like I've helped somebody. Or if I've made them smile, or in some sense, I feel like I've helped them. Not so much as maybe not helped them, but I've helped their day start off better.
What do you gain from that, though? Do you feel good about this? Does this give you a sense of, like, being, like, it actually helps you throughout your day by doing this?
I do. Giving them...
Because you shouldn't overextend yourself. No, this is your thing. You got to focus on yourself a bit more.
Yeah, the part that we're, and I think we all realize that at some point we got to cut ourselves off from how far into the conversation we get into it, and how far, how far you want to go. If they're that down and they're down all the time, but I tend to listen to them when they're down, even when they're down all the time, right? And if they're really low, and that doesn't help when you're trying to, move forward and try to bring yourself up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's hard, man. I said to the doctor today, I said, how do you do it? I said, how do you separate yourself? I said, I'd love to know, because it's not easy. I said, I like doing what I do this way, talking to people and shit. But how do you separate yourself
Yeah.
from how are you able to go home at night and not think about that person and not worry?
Well, that's something for you to figure out. And
That's what I
hopefully
mean.
you
Right.
do.
So
you get
it's
there.
something I like.
Yeah.
Right. I find it interesting and I enjoy.
Yeah.
But I can't separate myself, and this is where it's messing me up.
That's
right
the thing.
now.
I don't have the answers for you either. So maybe
No,
he
I
does,
get it.
right?
I get
when
it.
it comes to that.
And yeah. He's.
I agree. You need to do it.
Yeah,
You
it's
need
not
to
something easy.
take a step
Oh,
back.
no, yeah.
I've told you that before, but whether or not like you're going to be able to do that, whether or not you can, like, you know what I mean, like whether or not it's going to hurt you in the long run to be able to do that, because it seems like it's something that you go out of your way to do on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's. I feel like, yeah, like I said, it is me, and it's a part of me that I
Right.
don't want to lose, right? But it's also affecting my life.
Right. And
So-
I think you need to kind of focus on yourself a bit more this time.
And I am, and you've told me that too.
Yeah.
I know you've told me that, and it makes sense. It does.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm not an idiot.
No.
Just because I'm baked all the time.
No,
doesn't mean
I'm just, I'm not saying that.
No. But I'm just letting other people know out there, our listeners and stuff like that. Just
yeah.
because I'm baked 90% of the time doesn't mean I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Because I do, and
Yeah.
I'll repeat myself.
If
too.
anything, you fucking know more than most people what you're talking about, because you're sitting there thinking about it
Exactly.
all day.
Exactly. I can, like I told him, I could sit myself in a room like this,
Yeah.
smaller than this, okay, like 4x4.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm talking 4 feet by 4
Yeah.
feet. I could sit in there as long as I had a TV,
Yeah.
a toilet, and a shower. I'm great, bro.
That's all I need in here in this room right now.
That's what I
Everything
mean.
I like.
The guy goes, "You should go traveling." I said, "You know what? I was supposed to fucking do that this year, and I couldn't get my shots
Yeah.
and stuff on time. And
Yeah.
I was a little nervous too.
Oh, if
Obviously,
people
But
have been
maybe-
listening from the start, they documented you fucking procrastinating that
Yeah,
whole move.
maybe
That
I
was-
should. Maybe he said that was one of the. He said those two things, right? Go
Yeah.
to the gym. Like people say, going to the gym
Yeah.
helps, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been to a gym in my life. I always thought you had to lose weight. I don't think I need to lose weight anymore. So why the fuck do I need to go to the gym? Right?
Yeah.
But he says go to the gym. It makes you feel good. Makes
Yeah.
you relax. I don't know. It puts so much stress on me just to go there,
Yeah.
dude. Like I said, I've had my first heavy duty anxiety attack where it felt like somebody was sitting on my fucking chest, bro. I've never had that before, right? I felt so many weird things with my body, man, because of seizures and stuff like that. And this I had never felt in my life, man. But even with, like I said, with me eating all the McDonald's and garbage and crap like that, fast foods, I'm not young anymore. I could have a heart attack no problem, bro. The cigarettes I smoke, you know me, right? It's not
Yeah.
hard, right? But I had to watch myself. So we'll see what happens, man. He says he'll talk with my family doctor. They'll talk and they'll see what goes on and work on something and figure it out. They're all good, man, down there. I swear by that place, man, but I don't want to give them a shout out because then they're going to have too much more people and I'm going to be like last in line if I go down there. Right? They're getting busier and busier every time, right? So, fuck that. I'm not shouting it out.
Yeah, so what have you been
I've,
listening to, watching, reading lately, Jay?
Whoa.
Well, I know you haven't been reading anything. Let's go.
I was going to ask you, why did you hate April Fools before you asked me about reading?
Oh, fuck April Fools, bro. Like,
you get
part of the
tricked?
reason was what you're saying now with all, like, the internet bullshit. Now you see ads for things that aren't even real on that
Oh,
day.
I got tricked with my hockey stats on my hockey things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you
that
thought they were
fucked me
fucking
up.
bringing up some player that's retired that's back to Montreal.
Did you see that? I heard talking about the Koskinen twins.
I remember you're like, hey, bro, you hear about this?
Ago.
I'm
That
like-
would have been 10 years ago, dude. If anything, right? I forgot all about it, right? I was like,
Yeah.
This guy's
They're,
gotta
they're
be
making a
fucking
playoff
40.
run, Jay. They're bringing back
He's
some
in the-
fucking
yeah,
old
he's coming
geezer.
back from KHL, like they brought back Kovalchuk, But I get what you're saying about April Fools, but I sleep through it, so nobody can fool me. It's just the way
It's
to
just
do it.
annoying. Like, honestly, like, it's just an annoying fucking holiday at this point in my life. Like, I get nothing from it. Like,
No,
I don't run around fooling people. I'm just, it's really just all this shit that I have to, like, endure by looking on the internet. Like, I have to fucking dodge bullets now where I'm like, oh, is this real? Is that real? It's just
No,
a
I know
fucking
that.
pain
I
in the
get that.
ass.
I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I think my mom got fooled by my uncle.
Oh, really?
He showed his cast. Like he showed a cast on his leg or something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that,
I've seen
right?
that.
That stupid cast, and she fell for it too,
Is it
man.
the one where the
She
guy's
was
showing
going to
his
go out-
cock?
No. It was an actual cast, man.
Okay.
It's not that one. It's not that
You
one.
know that one, though, right?
Yeah.
Hey, look at my fucked up leg.
Yeah,
Oh, look at my cock.
I already said to my mom, I said, can't you tell it's not his feet? He goes for pedicures. That's it. That's as far as we'll go with that
That's
one.
a classic, that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Hey, check out
So-
this picture of this X-ray.
You know?
There's one with that X-ray, and then you can see the guy's cock.
Yeah, that's another one, right?
Yeah.
Or the spider in the
It's like you in the bow tie on your cock, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Oh,
look at this
people are
picture.
loving it. People are loving
Cheech
that
in
one.
the Hood.
Nelson was saying,
out this
hey,
picture.
people were making comments on his thing about it
Yeah,
on
your
his
fucking
Facebook.
your cock in the bow tie is the talk of the town, Jay. Look at
That's
you.
it, man. I'm gonna show it around. Anybody want to see it? I'll put it up as a post next time.
Put it up as the episode art of the next
That's it,
episode.
man.
You can do that.
Trust me, it'll be on Nico's next birthday, and we'll put it up as a birthday gift.
No, thank you,
with a
bro.
bow tie.
So yeah, get back into it though.
know
Anything
where
you've
that
been
came
watching or listening to lately?
I've been listening. Fuck man, you know us. I've been listening to everything. I've been trying to send you all kinds of shit. You know, you're the one that takes forever to listen to music, right?
Yeah, we'll get into the music a little bit, a little after
you
though.
were,
I was more so talking about the
I've
podcast
seen-
I mentioned to you, Mark Maron, last episode.
That was awesome, dude. I've started listening to that, and those guys are. He's amazing, and his buddy there that does the editing and all that stuff. He's on the road right now. I noticed he's taking his. He's doing it from hotel rooms and shit, like, which is kind of weird. Which is, I guess, with the editing and all that, like he was telling us, it's kind of like us. It's aired like a week in advance, a week before.
Yeah.
Like he's recorded a week in advance, so it's kind of weird for him talking about news, right?
Yeah.
So he talks as he's doing interviewing. But
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out interview stuff, right? That's what I was trying to do really with it. How to go with the interviewing, how to talk.
Yeah, so
more
last
freely.
episode I told Jay that I recently listened to the 1,000th episode of the What the Fuck podcast with Mark Maron.
That was great.
And I said to Jay, yeah, if you guys are interested, and as well to you guys, the listeners, I had mentioned, if you guys are interested in hearing a podcast where they talk about podcasts,
Yeah.
and kind of how a little bit behind the scenes, like how they got to
How it
where they
works.
are for one of the most popular podcasts out these days,
Yeah.
take a listen to this. So Jay did, and
It was awesome, man.
Yeah.
I actually listened, and then they were doing. It was mostly, basically interviewing each other, right? So that
Right.
one was a great one because they actually got to talk about stuff that people, would ask them questions over. I guess they would get emails and stuff like that, and they would just talk about. They were just talking about how it got them there. Like,
yeah, it was like a 2-hour episode. The first hour, they kind of talked about their history and how they got
Yeah,
there
how
and their
they got there
relationship
and-
with each other. And then the next hour, they kind of did a little bit of Q&A from questions from the audience,
Yeah,
or it
and
actually did
answering
answered a lot of questions from fans, like behind the scenes type
Yeah,
stuff.
and how they got started and how he figured it out. Because I mean, he's an older guy, and this was all newer technology to them. They didn't even know what they were doing could be considered a podcast when they figured it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that all started to come into play as they were doing it, and
Sure.
they started to figure it all out, and then they started to call it the podcast and go on
Yep.
streaming stations. Then that's why, eventually, hopefully one day me and Nico could figure out different streaming along those lines that they do it. But they're just about on anywhere. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them on TuneIn. That's where I've been listening to them. You don't get the full archive, the 1,000 episodes, but
Right.
that one there was explaining to him on how he started it, and they were picking apart on how they were doing little things and the proper way of interviewing and the proper way of how he was kind of like me in the beginning. I was nervous as shit, man, on this thing to do it.
Yeah.
I always felt like everybody's listening to me. All the listeners are listening to me instead of just me and you sitting.
Right.
Because I'm sitting here looking at you.
Yeah.
Right. And a shitload of comic book figures, right? They're all staring at me. It's like I'm being judged. Like Batman's looking at me. 4 different Batmans are looking at me, going, "What the fuck are you doing, man?"
I am the
Right?
night.
Yeah. You better give in. The Jokers are laughing like I'm fucking up.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? There we go. And Wonder Woman's trying to help me out, man.
How
but-
many of those pills did you take over there? What's going on?
nothing, dude. It's just like I said.
The walls
today's
are
been a
closing
weird,
in on you, Jay.
It's been a fucking weird.
No,
day,
but it was
man.
really interesting for you, right? Like you actually could relate to a lot of things. They were saying.
That's what. Yeah, that's where I was
Yeah.
going. I did. I related to a whole shitload of stuff on there, and it really got to me, and it made me wonder how he started doing the interviewing process, and when you start talking to people and you start interviewing people, and I want to try more of that and getting people on here and trying to interview people. So don't think that we forgot about you or anything like that. I just want to make sure that people know that out there that. I'm just trying to perfect it a little bit better. You know what I mean? I don't want to feel like I'm coming at somebody right off the bat.
Right.
Like, I've been accused of by many people already. So, but nevertheless,
Yeah.
I picked up quite a bit from there, and I've been listening since. picking and choosing who I want to listen to. And
Yeah,
and
I
a
didn't
lot of
know if you were
things.
going to go above and beyond, like listening to that episode. Like
Dude,
when
I've been wasting my data.
Yeah. When you came to me and you're like, "Hey, I've listened to this episode," I was like, "Oh, good." And you basically told me like, "Yeah, I've been studying it. I've been analyzing how he approaches people with his conversations."
Yeah, and that's how I learn. I told you.
Yeah.
Right. I
No,
learn
that's
more
great,
from-
man. I'm glad
From
that you're
actually
getting that
seeing
much out of it.
something and listening to something,
Yeah.
and if I can just sometimes keep it in there, I know it's in there. It gets everything's in
Sure.
there because I'll tell you, from going to the doctor today, I know everything is somewhere in this head still.
Your subconscious,
Yeah, it's there. Trust me,
Yeah.
it's there. Things I brought
That
up
big
today,
noggin
like I
of
said
yours.
today, things I brought up, I didn't even think I remembered. Bro.
Sure.
Right?
Because it's suppressed.
Fuck,
suppressed
man, yeah.
memories.
So,
bro.
I mean, I guarantee you a lot of the stuff that we talk about,
Yeah.
you know, I remember. It's just sometimes they're in there, and I have to pull them backwards, and my file folder is like a little bit rusty, probably from
Right.
the marijuana slowing it down, right? But, you know, it works. That's how it works,
Yeah.
right? I mean, so he was very informative. Everything that he does on that show is very informative.
Right.
Right? I think anybody who likes podcasts as well and has other time, too,
Definitely. Yeah, check it out.
that's kind of, I think, where we got a sort of our episode basis thing from, too, because it made sense, right? And they do it like that, too.
Yep.
Gone into going and watching.
Let me
the
ask
movie.
you something. Do you like his intros where he just talks for 15 minutes at the start of the podcast, or do you skip past that?
No, I listen to everything, dude.
Okay.
I listen till he says all that.
Because there was a period of time I used to skip
Fuckers and-
past
yeah.
that.
Why?
I don't know. I didn't really care to hear what he had to say, believe it or not, because
Some
the ones
of the stuff, I don't actually believe in that he believes in.
Right.
His political views and
Sure.
stuff like that. Some of that stuff I don't. I mean.
But I learned
we
to
all allowed
appreciate it,
have-
is what I'm saying.
Well, I learned to appreciate his opinion.
Yes.
Okay, and the way he brought it across. Right?
Yeah.
But I honestly, I did not appreciate his views on things. Some of the
Sure.
views on things me and him weren't eye to eye on.
Right.
If you think about it, like.
But I mean,
but
that's
everybody.
anybody, right?
And
Yeah.
if you can actually put those things aside and actually have a conversation about it without getting heated or
Right.
without getting crazy about it, then it's good. You know, you can figure something out that way.
I mean, he even talked about that on the podcast. There was a certain point in time where the booker, his editor, would only book people he'd be interested in. And then he said, you know what? No, we're going to start changing it a little bit. I'm going to start bringing people on where even if I can give you a
Yeah.
slight interest in maybe why it's worth talking to them, and you're going to go for it, then that's the approach we're going to take now. Because he actually said he kind of stepped out of his comfort zone a little bit because he had
You
to
have
start
to.
talking to people he couldn't give a shit about.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm gonna treat you like everybody else. We're gonna sit here. We're gonna have a conversation, and we're gonna see where this goes.
Well, that's what I picked up from him too, right?
Right.
You need to get your information, so you need to know about the person first
Yes.
of all, and you need to ask the questions properly. You can sit back and let them ramble on about everything. Like, I can ask you something, you can ramble on about it for 20 minutes.
Yes.
And I can, I throw my yes, like you're doing
Yeah.
right now, and we get away with it. Even though you know what I'm talking about, you still want to hear me tell you the story about it. If you ask that question, and it can just be a little question, it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be anything crazy. I've noticed. I haven't really picked out those parts yet, but just a little
Yeah.
question, and that little question can go a long way.
Yeah.
Right. It can bring out a story that you don't even want to hear, maybe.
Yeah.
Where you'd have to edit quite a bit of it.
Yeah.
But it also can bring out a story that you might want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't realize that it got somebody that far in life because of that one scenario that he brought up, which I thought was awesome in that context,
Yeah.
right? The show, like I said, I'm going to keep listening, man. And in that part, obviously with ours,
Yeah,
as
and
well.
one more
There it is.
thing on that too before we move on from it. I just did want to mention, if you guys are interested in checking out the podcast, pick a guest that you want to hear, because he interviews a lot of comedians and actors and directors and writers and this kind of stuff.
Not always the famous guys,
Right.
crazy, but
Right, but
people
that's
that
what
you
I was
wouldn't
getting
think
at.
about.
Pick somebody you want to hear, and if you kind of like that sample of him talking to somebody, go out of your comfort zone and start listening to people you may not know. Because I found that the ones that I was actually least interested in sometimes turn out to be the most interesting conversations that he has, and I
I've
actually
noticed-
learn something.
If you ever want to try something like this, or if you're ever trying to, look for an outlet of some sort, just to listen to the,
Yeah.
you can always check out podcasts. Are great to listen to, whether you listen to ours, whether you listen to anybody
Yeah,
else's.
absolutely.
Right, but it's a great outlet, and it's actually been helping me a lot too, man. Because, like Nico said, that the actual conversations can get really crazy, and you don't even notice. I mean, we've been sitting here talking for about an hour and 15 minutes, right? And I didn't even realize it's gone by that quick.
Exactly.
We can literally talk all night, and we haven't even got through half of the stuff that we want to talk about tonight, right? Which is another thing, right? Yeah. But it's good.
So, yeah, as far as things we've been watching, me and Jay, I think you had mentioned it actually on the show here a couple of episodes ago that you had seen when it first came on, that Afterlife show with Ricky Gervais that is a Netflix original.
Yeah.
So since you mentioned it, I ended up watching it myself as well. You can really get through it quick. Like, it's a nice little 6-episode, half-hour episode season.
Yeah.
I was actually disappointed because I wish it was more. Like, I'm hoping that he comes back and does a second season of it. That's how much I enjoyed it. I loved it, bro, the Afterlife show.
I told you it was good.
Yeah, it was really great. Ricky, like I said, Ricky Gervais, I am a fan of his comedy. It's been a while since he kind of came out with something. He used to have his partner, Stephen Merchant.
Okay.
They're the guys that kind of wrote the original Office together, the British one, and then, they got picked up and then became this huge, massive hit that it was in the States.
Yeah.
And then, he did other things. He did, like, the show Extras, and he did other things. But for a while there, he was only doing projects with his writing partner, Stephen Merchant. And then they kind of went both their own separate ways. Yeah. Stephen Merchant has seemed to have gone on to better and more interesting things than Ricky Gervais has in recent years. Okay. And then Ricky Gervais signed this Netflix deal, and he put out a couple other series. That Derek show, which I wasn't a big fan of. A couple other things. He did a couple movies. Anyways, they weren't my cup of tea, but this fucking Afterlife, really, really great show, yeah. So if you guys haven't checked it out, I suggest, like I said, it's not a big investment. It's like 3 hours worth of content, but like altogether. But really well done. It's basically about a guy who is a widower. His wife recently died of cancer, and he has these tapes of her kind of telling him, kind of giving him her last kind of goodbye and how to get his life in order because she knows how he is. And he's just basically a mess. And then because like he depended on her for so much, and he's just a miserable fucking guy who just really doesn't get along with most people, right? So, and out of as a result of this whole thing, he works for the brother-in-law of his wife at a newspaper. And
it's the only reason why he's got a job, to be honest.
Yeah, really, yeah. Because I'm so surprised this guy put up with them, how well he did throughout this whole season. Like, there were so many times where I'm like, this guy's going to fire him. Like, why would anybody put up with this shit? But he kind of kept him around for two reasons. One, obviously, because it's his brother-in-law, and he knows what he's going through because he also lost his sister because of this. And two, quite frankly, because he keeps threatening that he's going to kill himself. So that's like the ongoing...
he's worried. The way they kind of, there's a spoiler alert, but the way they kind of left it off was, that he was kind of getting happier, and you didn't know where that lifestyle was going to happen, where it was going to take him.
Yeah, the thing I liked about it was he started finding inspiration and a reason for living out of the most weirdest places and people you wouldn't have expected him to find, some resolve from. Like, there was people, like, for instance, there was a drug addict that he met, and there was a prostitute that he met. And, there's people that were, like, in his neighborhood that people you wouldn't normally associate yourself with, but he kind of gave up on life, so he kind of just started, associating with all these, like, strange people, like, that were, like, basically in his life at the time. So, and he drops, like, all these knowledgeable gems about life throughout the whole fucking season. Like, it's great. Like, it had a lot of heart to it, too. That's what surprised me, because I thought it was just going to be a miserable fucking show the whole time. But no, it was at times, because it dealt with him trying to kill himself and this and that. But, like... But there were, at the end of every episode, like you said, like, he learned something about himself, and like he took that and he found a way back to start appreciating.
Yeah, he almost fucked himself right up. It went from miserable, it went from angry, it went from happy, it went to sad. I mean, it had everything in it. I mean, anything that you want to see in a sitcom, and I think it was 6 episodes, or
6 episodes. I think about half hour apiece.
Yeah, a Sunday when people aren't working.
Yeah, very easy to burn through. Yeah,
easy if you're gonna watch something.
Yeah,
I'd suggest that. That was a great TV show, and I mean, like I knew the actor, Ricky Gervais, as he said,
Yep.
and I knew him from other series, and I can remember off the top of my head right now, but I've recognized him, and
Sure.
I said, you know what, let me give this a try. It popped up on my thing, and like a percent of something that, you know what I mean, I watch.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, no, we'll see what happens, right?
I watched it one evening when in bed in Chicago when we were on our trip. Like one of the nights we kind of, came back a little earlier. Ended up fucking burning through the whole thing with a bottle of wine. It was good, man. I had a good time watching it, man.
It's worth the watch, right?
Yeah, very good. So definitely watch it. Check it out, guys. It's called Afterlife, Ricky Gervais, and it's a Netflix original. And another thing, actually, speaking of Netflix originals that I caught, I don't know if you actually seen it pop up yet, Jay, but I'm sure you would like it.
What's
it's
that?
called Highwaymen.
I've seen it.
Yeah, you ended up watching it. Okay,
Oh,
so we
yeah,
didn't actually even talked about this.
No.
What'd you think?
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I told you, man.
Starring your boy Woody Harrelson, and it was about the
He's a great actor. And you know
Bonnie
what?
and Clyde. Basically, it was about the guys that were hired to take them out.
State
and-
troopers. I mean, these
Yeah.
guys had a little bit different authority than.
Sure, they're like hitmen, kind of.
Basically, and then, you know what? They went and took care of business. That's what they were supposed to be doing.
Based
right?
on a true story about Bonnie and Clyde.
based on.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't get really graphic. It wasn't about Bonnie. They didn't really bring it. They just mentioned that who it was.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't really big on Bonnie and Clyde's story.
No.
But it was big on the guys that tried to catch them.
Right.
Trying to figure out.
So much so at the end, I kind of was thrown for a loop because I'm like, was that them? Was that not them? Because the way they ended it, I was just like, you're right. It was more about, it's about their relationship and
Yeah.
what with the toll it takes on them with
On
what
them
they've had to
physically
do over the years
and
because they
mentally.
were friends from the war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And mentally, right? I mean,
Yeah.
one of them was a little cuckoo.
Classic Woody
always-
Harrelson
yeah.
role, bro.
Dude,
Like-
it was perfect for him.
Yeah,
and he, you
exactly.
know what? He always plays great old guy, like in the old time, the old
Yeah.
days and stuff like that. I've always loved the way he acts when he plays in those type style movies.
Yeah.
Right, but-
I wasn't sure you saw it because the whole time I was watching it, I'm like, oh, Jay's going to love this because we were just talking about Woody Harrelson last
course.
episode, right?
Yeah, as soon as I seen it, man, I
Yeah.
started watching a bit of it, and I had to stop because I had to go to sleep, man, because I had to be up for work, right?
Yeah.
So I had to stop it, and that's all I was thinking about watching the whole thing. I was going to actually watch the whole movie, and
That was like a 2-hour movie.
yeah, it was great, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it was well worth it. I mean,
Netflix is putting out some good stuff, man. That's another Netflix original, that movie. Yeah.
But that's what I mean. This is what I'm saying. That they're coming out with a lot of different things, a lot of cool things to watch, a lot of different shows to watch.
Yeah.
I'm losing track. To be honest with you,
a lot of content out there
I
right
started
now.
watching the new animated Trailer Park Boys. I thought that was hilarious, just to watch, just for fun.
Did it come out now?
It's out. It's on.
Oh, okay.
It's on there too, right? The animated
I
series.
haven't watched it yet. I will, though.
Oh man,
I will.
It's funny, man. It's basically like their first season, but in an animated version.
Are they going to continue without Leahy now that he's dead? Like, what happened there? Did they use him or what? 'Cause he's dead.
He's a
Like-
ghost.
Oh, really? In the cartoon, they made him a ghost.
Yeah, it kind of works out pretty good, right?
So they are continuing
So
without him.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're using his lines from old TV series.
Well, sure, they have lots of
shows, right?
content to go off
Oh
of,
yeah,
right?
for sure, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they can always match that to a comic, right?
Yeah.
And not so bad, not so hard at all, right?
Yeah.
So, but the other guys are just hilarious, and it looks like them too, right?
Right.
They did quite a few. I mean, I haven't got through, I haven't blew through the series yet. I've gotten to the 5th episode or something like that, right?
Right.
But oh man, it's hilarious, and you know, it's basically them, and then they're now that they're older, and it shows
Yep.
how Trinity's older, and Trinity as a kid, and Ricky's the grandson, the
Right.
grandfather, whatever it is. So it's kind of funny, man, to see that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But they're still the same. They still look the same age, right? They
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
changed their age or nothing like that. That's
Plus,
the
they're
funny
a
part.
cartoon here,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So, yeah.
We'll see how long they go with that, right? There's been, all kinds of crazy shows. I've been trying to tell you to watch Into the Dark. You haven't decided to watch that
No,
one.
I haven't
yet,
I haven't taken that plunge yet, man. There's a
No,
lot of
man,
shit,
there's a
like
lot.
you said. I wanted to go back and start watching all of Game of Thrones again because it's
I've never
coming
watched
back
it,
next
bro.
week, bro.
I've never watched it.
Not one episode.
No, I bought all the scotches.
Yeah, we talked about that on the
I
show
got 6
before.
scotches of Game of Thrones. Right?
Yeah, for the different families. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So when the people want the scotches, they're there. But yeah, no, I've never watched the series, man. I've never. I don't know. I don't get into it.
So a guest that we actually have planned that will be coming on in the coming months. I won't announce as of yet, is a fan of the show, and I'm sure we'll be discussing it with that person when they do come on. That being said, the last season starts next Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Not this Sunday of recording, but next Sunday.
Yeah.
And it is a 6-episode season as far as I know, and then
Okay.
it's done. Like, this is going to be the end of the actual... And I don't know how much you know about it, but essentially... the writer of the books has not actually finished the books yet. So the series is actually going to go ahead of where the books are going to be and finish up first prior to him still finishing the last novel. Like, right now, he's been working on the last novel for years and
Okay.
years. So much so that people were worried about the fact that he wasn't actually going to finish by the time the show finishes, and that's basically what's going to happen now. So the show is going to finish. It may spoil some things, I'm sure, that the book will get into once it
Okay.
actually does get released.
Yeah.
But, I mean, listen, you know, that I don't think anybody anticipated the show was going to be such a big, super hit that it turned out to be, because this is a huge and I wish I had time. We made time to go back and watch all of the 6 fucking but these are like hour episodes, 10 fucking 12 hour seasons, right? Essentially,
Yeah, they're all
6
hour
seasons,
episodes, right?
12 fucking episodes or whatever a season. So we didn't actually have a chance to go back and watch it all before it comes back next week.
Yeah.
And it's so convoluted, and there's so many characters at this point. Like, it would have helped to kind of get a refresher.
Okay.
But we didn't get a chance to watch it, so basically now when the series is done, I'm going to end up going back and watching the whole thing through. Like, so I'm going to watch the last season, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to start from season 1 and watch the whole
And
thing
go
again.
from
That's
there,
how good
right?
this show was, and I hope they stick the landing. Basically, everyone's going to die. Like, like everybody.
You would think, right?
Bro, there's no redeeming fucking person on this show. Everyone's a piece of shit fucking person. Everyone is evil. Everyone needs to die, like, at this point. Like, it is a bunch of fucking douches on this show, I'm telling you.
No, I never got into that show.
Bunch of
I mean,
FBs.
I wish I would have. I wish maybe I should have started. I tried starting to watch. Trying to start watching it, but honestly, I couldn't get into it. I don't know what it was. I just lost interest after the first episode or two, and I know
You kind of got to power through the first season. That's what I say to everybody, because the first season, again, there's so many people they start introducing you to, and it's not as thrilling as it actually turns out to be, like as exciting or interesting. But you got to power through it, because by the time the end of the first season,
Yeah.
you're so shocked by the ending of the first season that you end up having to watch the second season. Because I wasn't sure either. I wasn't sold the first time around watching it. I just heard it was good.
Yeah.
So, you know, same. I kind of almost fell off of it myself, but I kind of powered through it. And so I definitely think you should go back and revisit it if you're at all interested once it's done, because I think it's worth your time. Yeah, well, that's kind of what we've been watching lately, guys. You know, like, we'd love to hear from you as well. If there's anything you think that we should be watching or talking about, let us
just
know.
podcasts, really. Like I said, just podcasts. You can listen to the podcast. Don't make sure to listen to ours first before you start listening.
Yeah,
to
first and
everybody else's.
foremost,
Yeah,
but
and
then branch
check
out,
stuff.
guys. I
Yeah.
mean, podcasts, like you said, the Mark Maron podcast.
The way to go, I think.
Lots
It's
of great
a lot
stuff out
easier. It's a lot easier than just sitting there and just listening to the same songs over and over and over again. Like just music. You get bored of it after a while. It's nice to just hear people talk.
There's lots of free content out there, guys, nowadays. That's actually a curse and a blessing at
And
the
a
same
blessing at
time.
the same
There's
time,
too
yeah.
much. There's too much content
too much
nowadays.
to pick from, right? Like.
Anyways, yeah, fuck 10 episodes, bro. Let's keep this train rolling, though. We'll see you guys on part 2.
I own all the rights to all my raps, nigga. German place with sheepskin on my mats, nigga. Murder rate increasing if I snap, nigga. Ain't no hanging out, we take y'all off and double back, nigga. Open trust accounts, deposit racks, nigga. $1 million life insurance on my flesh, nigga. Beamers, Benz, Bentleys, or Lex, nigga. Ferraris in them Lambos, that's what's next, nigga.